some of them I try to say slick stuff to you, right? But what I learned is, being my stature, there's a respect level, but also you got to keep in mind, you got to know your opponent. When I say know your opponent, knowing the person that you're dealing with, because some of these dudes don't have the capability and the understanding to communicate like me.
Right.
So I got to meet him at his level.
Right.
One of the dudes, he disrespected the CO lady, called her a bitch, and she felt, uncomfortable around him, said he's looking at her a certain way, and she asked me, and I was like, well, I can talk to him. I don't know if that's going to do anything. But first of all, being honest, me going to his door, he may feel like I'm getting at him, like, who am I to come say something to him about you and you're the police,
Yeah.
He may think I'm trying to come save you all that shit because, these youngsters, this is how they mind work. So I said, I respect the fact that you got at me and, you always been straightforward with me. So, yeah, I waited a day and I caught him on a yard and I asked him, I said, damn, man, somebody was to call your sister a bitch, would you feel offended by that? He said, hell yeah. He can call my sister a bitch, I'm gonna fight. I said, so you wanna fight, right? And it worked out exactly how I wanted it to work out.
Yeah.
I said, why did you call the next man's sister a bitch?
You weren't ready for that one. You hit him on the head with that one.
Yeah, because you gotta meet these dudes that they left. So he was like, oh man, she I said, no, you disrespected yourself. I said, first of all, you're a man. And to address a woman in that manner, it allowed you to not only diminish who you are, but it lowered your standard. You've been able to get you to that point. Like, yeah, man, I feel like I said, first of all, this is her job. She works here. So if you're doing anything that's uncontrary to what you're supposed to be doing, that's her job to say something, brother. You can't be mad at this woman for doing her job. He said, see, I didn't think about it, and I didn't see it like that. And I said, that's respectful, bro. So what you should do is when you get an opportunity, you apologize to that woman and let her know you didn't mean no harm. And at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, y'all let that go. He started smiling. He said, man, he had that moment because he felt like, obviously, when I gave it to him, we don't got guidance, man. We lack that. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, oh, gee, can I holler at you sometimes, man? When I got some shit going on. So, yeah, brother, you can.
That's what's up.
But, we got to keep in mind, like for me, that was kind of hard, but, I go through it's boys,